definitely brushy. Been playing disc golf a little over 6 years, and I've always heard people tell me that Brushy Creek 9 is the hardest design in Austin. They recently got some new tee boxes, I think like a month ago. So what better time to come break my Brushy Creek seal of approval than today. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I'm Connor O'Reilly, playing for Latitude 64, OTB Discs, and Lucky Ace Discs. And today we're bringing you guys a brand new course that I haven't played yet. I've heard a lot about it living in Austin and playing the last 6 years. It's called Brushy Creek. It's a 9-hole course that I've heard is arguably the hardest course to par in Austin. And recently we had a big storm that knocked down some limbs, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect too much of the course. Hopefully it's been cleared out in terms of the line, so it's still playing the way it's designed to be played. Either way, really excited to show you guys this course. It is 50 degrees today with a 16-mile-per-hour wind coming off the north, so a bit chilly. Had to bust out the hand warmers. Got the left glove on, you know the deal. We got 1 week until Vegas starts, so really getting ready for the season to kick off, and excited to show you guys a new course, at least new to me. We start off with a par 4 just under 600 feet at 578. You gotta play it straight, finish maybe a little bit left. If you're too far right or left though, the brush comes in thick out here, and I'm guessing that's gonna be a theme. Technical little approach as you get up there. If you can hug to the right side of the fairway, you're gonna have a more open window, but there's also some over the top shots if you're versed in that kind of stuff, though it's a bit windy today. No, that's a midi, it's a midi. I'm gonna play my trust off the tee. I could maybe go fairway driver, but seeing as it's the first time I've played this hole, I'm really gonna prioritize being in the middle. Nice stand up on that, but luckily throwing a mid-range, it wasn't really able to push to the left side of the fairway. Should have a pretty open little chip hyzer approach. Flying out to Las Vegas in 3 days, so since I won't have the van with me, ditching the cart, leaving it at home, so getting ready for it, playing in the bag. It'll be my first tournament out of the bag since, or first tournament with the bag since Pittsburgh last year, so only course that was too tough for the cart. Otherwise, you'll find me rolling. 215 to the basket. Pretty guarded. I can go over the top, or I can play this tunnel shot. And the basket's on a little bit of a mound. I can't really tell if there's a creek behind it or whatnot, but I'm just gonna pretend that it's pretty nasty. I'm gonna take the low shot, work on my gap hitting for later in the course, and go with the Saki Bomb Slammer. Faded into the little ditch in front of the bucket. Didn't really realize that was there, but we should have a pretty close putt. Yeah, there is indeed a pretty steep drop off on any side here. Creek running through. I'm starting to see why this course can be so difficult, because that approach felt really good. I mean, I'm 20 feet from the basket, but I've got a pretty obstructed putt in here. I might even only have a forehand. I mean, I feel like I'm in a good spot to be, but at 20 feet, I got my work cut out. Let's go. Had to go a little quick release, avoid these vines, and able to snag a birdie on the first. Even though I'm kind of scared for the rest of the course. If this is how tight it is, oh my God, it won't let me go, y'all. Oh my. At 235 feet through a late gap and over the creek, hole 2 is going to be a picturesque little ace run hole. Not too much ceiling to work with, so you can go putter, you can go mid, whatever you feel most comfortable, throwing straight, finishing straight. Yeah, I mean, not much more to this one. Megan put an amazing dye on this pure, and let's see if we can find the chains. Oh yeah, right down the gut, hit the gap. That's the main goal in this one. You hit that gap, you're gonna be rewarded. Another birdie. That's how we like to start. Hole 2 may be short, but you missed that first gap and there's some water in the creek. Could definitely grab some strokes from you. Get the 2, you should be pretty happy though. And very aceable, as long as those rusty chains can grab you. Hole 3 looks like an improbably tight par 4. Bends to the left midway through, but we have some down branches there kind of clouding up the lanes. Hitting the gap here and choosing a speed that'll keep you in the fairway is the most crucial part, as the distance isn't too long. As long as you can get through this first initial gap and to the bend, you should be able to give yourself some kind of birdie look. Just put this Huck Dye Opto X compass back in the bag. I was kind of making a couple tweaks before the season, and definitely one that needed to come back. Should be a perfect stability right here. Really just prioritizing hitting the gap. Couldn't do it. We got to scramble, y'all. Wow. Not often is my best play to pitch it up 23 feet in front of me, but this one is, yeah. I don't know, I gotta do some weird snaking shot that's not really doable, but let's try a forehand roller. God, I actually just did it somehow. I got farther than I thought was even imaginable. You're gonna need some creativity, some patience, and yeah, double those here. Oh, tried to throw in the par save. Honestly, if you do not pure this gap and get to the landing zone, you should be very happy with the par. Oh, tried to throw in the par save. Honestly, if you do not pure this gap and get to the landing zone, you should be very happy with the par. Right into the heart for the bogey save. This hole is tricky. Such a snaking hole and so specific. If you're anywhere off where you want to be, take your par, take your meds, because otherwise bogeys are looming and doubles, triples. I lasered hole 4 at 237 feet. This one's got a very tight gap and a low ceiling here off the tee. And you've got a slope dropping off to the right side of the basket up there. Whatever you want to throw it straight, get it to the ground at circle's edge, and really let it check up. I'm thinking it's a good opportunity to try out the new honor on a forehand. Savior, honor, savior. It's funny, when I first signed with Latitude, I had a period where I just called certain discs the wrong names for like 6 months. I kept calling the deputy something, what did I call it? The guard or something? I don't even know, but
no, so bad.
It doesn't really matter. All I know is we're about to be saving some strokes right here.
You still call the underworld the Undertaker?
Yes, I do. Beautiful showcase of what the Savior can do on a nice flat forehand. Not really much wind affecting us as we're in this kind of bowl right here. And yeah, really excited to figure out that disc some more. Need all the chains I can get. Ooh, hurts to miss that opportunity, as I know they're gonna be tough to get out here. The fourth is a nice one. It's a good distance for the width of the hole, I believe. I believe hole 5 is a par 5. Not sure of the distance, but off the tee you need to move it straight. And honestly, you can only go about 180 feet here before it tears down and gets a little sketchy. A short layup is probably a good play and then attack from there, but I don't want to just throw 150, 180 foot shots, so I'm going to try to rip a forehand with my Opto X Stiletto. Another disc I just put back in the bag, and watch how beefy this thing is. Hit it flat, push it towards the creek. I should be down in that bowl. See how it looks. We've got 480 to the pin. Nice little flex forehand window. Bit of uphill there, forced me to get the nose up, and I never really got the turn I was hoping for. But honestly, that should work. We should have a pretty simple pitch up, or a couple options at pitching up for a birdie look. Pretty pinched on this tree here, but only about $1.50 for a birdie look. I'm gonna go Savior. Woo, got down that slope and really rode the skip back. Might look like a shank, but the scorecard don't care. You know, this is probably my favorite hole yet on the track. It's very specific off the tee. Then you have a couple options that are pretty tight on the second shot. Opens up. You got the railroad out here. I'm starting to like Brushy Creek. Definitely a good course to work on hitting gaps. If you can hit your timing on every single gap out here, it's gonna make a lot of these wooded courses feel pretty simple for you. Hole 6 might be a short one, but it's gotta be one of the most visually appealing holes on the track. You've got this creek right in front of you off the tee. And it looks like where the old tee box was, you had a nice right side gap. Moving it even 10 feet to the left here made a big difference. I don't necessarily love the lines that are available here. To me, something's gotta be trimmed up. But honestly, it's short enough, just throw it into the ground, make some progress, and try to get a close look. Gonna go with that Savior again. I like the forehand here since the ceiling is so low. Ha! Made it across. What's up? Honestly, that's probably a pure shot for this hole, the way it shapes up. Slippery logs, y'all, watch out. Well, looking back at this hole, I'd probably throw a kneeling forehand next time here, to be honest. You don't really need your legs in the shot. It's only 220 feet, and a couple extra feet of height would do wonders on a hole like this. Hopefully we can trim it up, you guys. Y'all listening? Hole 7's another beautiful par 3. This one looks to be about 250 feet. I'm done trusting these tee signs. Poor basket looks like it had a tree fall on it recently with the storm. No longer has a basket on it, just a set of leaning chains. So if we hit any bit of the chain assembly, we're counting it as an ace, you guys. All right.
The basket's on the bottom, so you gotta hit it there.
No. I'm gonna pull on my pure here. Should be a good hole for this. low and the wind kind of just smashed it, but it was a good line. Nice and pure. All I know is if it was summertime and I was hot out here and I just took a bogey, I might hop in this water, cool down a little bit. We'll let y'all be the judge on whether or not this is a birdie. Easy par cleanup. Man, I felt good about that putt, but I just held it into the band. This is the most wrecked I've ever seen a basket on a course still. Sad to see, sad to see. Just to show you guys a small portion of some of the damage that we saw in Austin a couple weeks ago. Look at these piles of trees. And that's probably only a 20th, 100th of what this whole park has gone through. We've been seeing non-stop brush trucks driving by our house here in Austin for the last month. And if you're in the brush collection business, then you've never been happier, honestly. Hole 8 looks to be about 270 feet, dead straight. Not a lot of room for error here. Really only one way about this, and if you can beat that center tree and be rewarded with the birdie putt, you're gonna be feeling pretty happy.
Quadruple mando, under the sign.
Mandatory air bounce under the sign, Megan says, so I'm going Aaron Gossage style. That was an ace. Whew, rarely have I felt as handcuffed as this course has made me feel at times. Had to elect for a very short upshot, leaving a lot of meat on the bone for that par save. We're sending it off into the sunset here at Brushy Creek 9 with a very tight tunnel shot. This one's a par 4, just under 600 feet. Looks like you gotta move the disc dead straight. A little bit of finish to the right could be a bonus, but hit that first gap, name of the game out here. I'm gonna rip on the Explorer since I have kind of a low ceiling, maybe a little force over, let it fight out. Yes. Let's go, y'all. Just pushed it about as straight as you can and probably caught the backstop. Very happy with that tee shot. I don't care how good you are, that gap feels great to hit. I've got to say, if you come into hole 9 and are expecting to get a birdie or need to get a birdie, you might want to grab that birdie elsewhere. It is very tight. I feel like I'm almost in an ideal spot. I could maybe finish a little straighter here, but with all the limbs and stuff down here, this hole is very hairy. Hard to really pick out what line I should take. I mean, I think I can flex a forehand there, but I might have like this much ceiling to work with, about 200 feet that way. So, see how it goes. Let's just hope it's not wet. I'm assuming the creek plays out of bounds for the whole track, and we finally found ourselves in it. I probably crossed land over here. Got one of these trees dropped in, so I'm gonna take it from back there. There is nothing. All right, take them out of bounds, straight back from the basket. I got this tiny window over the river to take. So rude. Scooper send off. Kind of like that. Oh my gosh. I guess it wouldn't be around down at Brushy Creek without a straddle putt through the stuff to finish out. Now I've got to say, first time here, the course definitely lived up to its nightmarish tales and legends of being the tightest course in Texas, and Austin at least. Definitely rivals the Jarinator up in Dallas in terms of some of the tricky tight windows. And with it in this kind of shape, just look back at that gap. That is not how it's supposed to be played, I don't think. So maybe next time we come back, it'll be restored in working order and even a little bit easier than it was before. Either way, we hope you guys have really enjoyed this showcase of the Brushy Creek 9-hole course up here in North Austin. Recently just got new tee boxes, so if you're in the area and you want to work on some tight gaps, please come out and try it. Once again, I'm Connor O'Reilly for Team Latitude 64, OTB Discs, and Lucky Ace Discs. And we barely beat the course today. What will the next one have in store for us?